from Peace or Havoc. I want to talk to you today about traveling with a weapon. More specifically, how to check a weapon in if you're not authorized to carry a weapon on a plane at the ticket counter. There's no reason to feel anxiety about traveling with a weapon. So we're going to cover some topics that may help this be a smooth process for you. Number one, conduct research. It's important that you know the laws and regulations, both state and local, of the destination you're going to. You should already be familiar with the laws that regulate your travel from your residence to the local airport you're going to. But don't forget that piece, okay? Make sure you check out your destination. Also do your research on the airline. Southwest may be slightly different than United and American. At the end of the day, they're all about the same. So just make sure you're doing your homework regarding containers required and the storage of your magazine versus your weapon. We're going to touch on some of those topics here today to hopefully make this process a little bit less stressful for you. Number one, when you're packing and your pre-planning standpoint, make sure you have your credentials with you, whether it's a concealed carry, a LEOSA card, IROC, ASO credentials, whatever credentials is that you may need, make sure you have them with you. In addition, make a photocopy of them and store them somewhere separate in your baggage. In the event you lose your wallet and you don't have those credentials with you anymore, at least you have a photocopy that can assist authorities with verifying that you are legally carrying that weapon. So that's a big deal. In addition, you need to purchase some equipment. You're going to need a TSA approved box, whether it's a long box like this one, if you're traveling with a long gun or a handgun. In this case, the current box that I have is very simple, very inexpensive. Steel, has a combination lock. Some of them come with hard locks. So you're going to need a box. So in this box, you can put several things. When I travel, I always carry these same items unless it's mission specific. But for a personal trip, generally in this case, I'm going to take a sticky holster. Very important that you maintain all safe handling practices with your weapon. So when you unload it, make sure you're following all the safe handling practices that you do all the time. In this case, you'll see I have an ammo safe in here, which is an indicator that the chamber is empty. There's no weapon. There's no ammunition in here. In addition, from the bottom side, you'll see it's an indicator there's no magazine in this weapon. So this weapon should be completely empty. You don't have to travel with these. I like to do it just as a secondary visual indicator for TSA or anybody that might be inspecting my box. So I'll place that in my box. In addition, your magazine should be empty. Make sure you verify that. Get someone else to check. Another set of eyes is good before you depart. I always place my magazine in the same box. There are some airlines that require you store that magazine separately along with your ammunition in a different storage box. I've never had a problem storing it in this manner. I also travel with a little knife and a tactical pen as my everyday carry. I put that in the same box. What I do put separately is my ammunition as required by the airline, and I always place that in the manufacturer box. That's the best thing to do. And as a personal decision, based on the mission at hand, if you're just going for personal, you may not travel with extra magazines. I personally don't carry extra magazines in most cases unless it's mission-based. In this case, a personal trip, and I'm carrying just enough ammunition to fill one magazine. Again, it's a personal choice. And this box, I will check in just like my weapon. It'll go in the checked-in baggage, and we'll get to that here in a second. You can travel with more ammunition. You can travel generally with up to 11 pounds of ammunition. I just recently traveled with a case of ammo, like if you're going to a school or you're going hunting or you're just transporting it, 11 pounds is out, I guess, the maximum in most cases. So you've got your box, you got your ammunition. It's in your bag that you anticipate that you're going to check in, not carry on the plane. And you arrive at the airport. The first thing you're going to do when you get to the ticket counter is let the agent know that you have a weapons box. Inside that box is an unloaded secure weapon, and you have ammunition stored separately in a manufacturer box. They will guide you and ask you some questions. They're also going to give you a declaration form. You're going to fill that out. I recommend that you make sure that it's legible, and in particular your cell phone is legible, because in the event they need to get hold of you prior to your departure, you want them to be able to get a hold of you as quick as you can. That way you don't miss your flight in the event that you have to go back to TSA and answer some questions. I also like to write my name and number on the outside of that box. That'll assist them in locating you. In the event this is for some reason not located in their inspection process. So you're all set. You're at the counter. You've declared it. They'll guide you through the process. That generally they'll do one or two things. They'll say, hey, could you stand by here a few seconds until TSA clears you, and they'll give you a thumbs up and let you know that you're okay. Or they'll say, go ahead through security, and if we need you, we'll give you a call on your cell. So generally, most airlines are just slightly a little bit different. No big deal, no stress. The other thing that comes to play, for those of you who are out there are trainers, I travel with training systems quite a bit. And this is just an example. This is hard plastic. There's no moving parts at all on this weapon, including the trigger. But always declare this, and this is a checked-in item. You cannot take these on the aircraft. That goes for airsoft guns or replicas. All that needs to get checked in, but you need to declare it. I also recommend if you have any moving parts on a training system, plan on checking it in, whether it's in a long box with several of them. They're not operable, but you're going to have a conversation with TSA because they will challenge it. But my recommendation is to avoid that. Just store it as if it's a real gun, and that'll minimize the interaction and process. So you can travel with these. Just make sure they're checked baggage. Regarding these long boxes, make sure you have a lock for each area that can accept a lock. And I recommend you order these locks ahead of time and try them if it's your first time traveling with a long box, and make sure that you get locks that have cable that is long enough to fit through some of these areas on them long boxes. You don't want to wait till you get to the airport and then they're sold out or they don't have that length. So that's a big deal there. One thing I recommend, travel with a small set of snips on maybe the exterior zipper of your checked-in bag. And the reason I say that, I think it's United. I traveled with them a couple times. They do a nice job. They secure those bags with zip ties. So if you have a weapon in there, once you get to the airport, you can't access that weapon system inside the airport. And that's not a bad thing. It's a good safety feature. But the problem is if you've done your, say, your threat assessment, or you're on a mission when you get to that arrival airport, and you need access to that weapon once you get off site and safely load it, it's tough to do without being able to snip those zip ties. So zip ties are a good thing to have if when you arrive, you're going to have to expedite into whatever it is you need to do. So that's it. That's all I have regarding travel. Please feel free to leave some messages. We always want to learn, and our followers would appreciate any constructive input that you have, and maybe we can add it as a piece of this down the road. Please do me a favor and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Visit our website, peaceforhavoc.com. We have some really nice hats and shirts and hoodies and some gear coming that may be of interest to you. And always pursue peace, but be prepared to deliver righteous havoc. Have a good day.